This is Dr. Nats and Amanda, and this is our second chat in our currently unnamed series. We will come up with a name for it. And for tonight, our topic is healer switching, as in switching from one healer to the other, and why people do that and maybe why it's not always a good idea. And also professional loyalty. Why is that important? Not just for the practitioner, but for the client.
Yes. Great intro.
Yay.
So I guess this topic came about. I think it kind of came out in a conversation, but I remember being in, again, Facebook entrepreneurial groups in the day when everybody offers their wares, their services with their schmick messaging and photos and everything. And then you see people going, I want that, I want that, I want that. And then you're like, you're working with me and you're going for that healer, and there's that healer and there's that healer. Interesting. So I started to notice this phenomenon of just like people kind of moving around and trying like a smorgasbord, a buffet of healing practitioners. And then it started to make me think about this concept of healers being commodities, that like what is happening here in a profession as a healer or as a group of healers, that it becomes okay to kind of sample. Whereas when you look at our relationship with other professionals, say a doctor or dentist, there's a degree of loyalty and, less likelihood of the sampling. Like, how does this come about? So
Yeah. And especially also the other part in some of the entrepreneur groups is the sort of freebie offers, and people are starting to offer tasters of their services. And really, when people are doing that, the idea is we're offering this as a way to say, hey, if you're thinking of working with me already, try it out. But yes, the same phenomenon where it's like, oh, I'll take a bit of that one and a bit of that one and a bit of that one as well. And so,
because we women can have it all.
Yeah. And so, it's also this thing of like, what are we actually doing, and where is our critical thinking process when it comes to what are we actually achieving by taking a bit of here, there and everywhere. Yeah.
And I think it's easier with different professions. So say a doctor again, you've got symptoms, it's your physical body. The doctors, that's their job. They look after your physical body and your physical, some of your physical needs. It's clear what we're expecting from them. I turn up sick, hopefully I'll get some medication and I'll blitz through this problem, along with rest and fluids, like we know. Whereas I think some professions like healer, which hasn't really gone through this like mainstream training or professional pathway, that it's not clear what they're there for and what we can expect for them, or what we can even ask of ourselves from them. So we just kind of go, wow, yeah, I do have a problem around this. I'll just go and check that out. But we're not really clear about what we need and why we're seeing them. We just feel drawn to them, and they might have some solution, and we're feeling a bit desperate or ill at ease.
Yeah, and there's also the fact that really that term of healer covers such a wide range of skill sets and experiences and capabilities as well, I guess. And so there might be 5 people who say they're healers. I suppose that's true of any practitioner or any qualification, actually. 5 hairdressers, 5 butchers, 5 whatever. They're not all going to offer you the same thing. But yes, it can be a little bit easier to see, for example, that one butcher is offering better quality meat. With healing, it can be a little less tangible. And because it's like, well, what are these people actually offering? And sometimes as healers, we don't always know how to express that ourselves. I think that's probably true of your work, but I know with my work, I bill myself as a kinesiologist, but there's a lot more going on than just kinesiology. And I don't even express half of the stuff that I do because it's kind of, it would be too out there for people.
Well, I guess it's on a need to know basis.
Yes.
So, people can come to me with their own physical issues, like, gut healing, gut health, chronic illness. I guess because I've had a lot of experience as a biologist in medical field and research and yada, yada, yada. So I've got that and can understand a lot and can you apply research skills and then be able to bring a metaphysical perspective or a spiritual or, soul, whatever that is, to kind of explain or express what is happening in their process. So that's, an example of what I do. And I guess the way people have learned about me is through what I message and what I put out there. So they're starting to understand, okay, this is her style, this is her gig. But that does take work and time and effort because, again, healer is a nebulous thing because it's not me actually, doing something that you're going to walk in with X problem and walk out with Y outcome, because I don't control that.
No.
As a healer is to help bring more of your soul qualities, your soul essence, your divine essence, more, I guess, alive within you. So you can, the idea is that you walk out feeling more peaceful or more spacious or more expanded or happier. It doesn't always happen at the end of the session, but it will happen shortly after, depending on what you're going through. It's a different thing. So we can't really promise we are going to solve this problem for you. We're going to fix, or this is the solution you're going to have when you walk out.
Yeah, it's not a production. Yeah. It's not a production line. It's not like, oh, when you put, these ingredients in, you're going to get a tiramisu cake.
No. But you will have, more connection to your divine nature, your soul. Yeah. And so that's why you're feeling great and peaceful. And then the rest of it is, you trying to tap back into that. So as you experience it, then it becomes easier to re-experience it because you know what that's like. Yeah. Whereas if we're going to someone for solve this problem, then we become dependent on that other person to solve that exact problem. Whereas I think with the healing arts, it becomes more about learning about you and experiencing your own inner resources, building that up, and then you can draw on that when you need it. Come back into that place of peace. And as you are evolving, you have your healer to help you with that process because you're going through lots of changes. Some of it's really uncomfortable, downright painful. And so you need that guide, that hand to hold you throughout that. And it's hard when we're switching hands all the time. Because
yes, exactly. I mean, this is the thing, like with the work that I do, I can, I'm really good, for example, at TMJ. So if somebody's got a temporomandibular joint issue, physical pain issue, can totally help them with that. But where we're going to go is not going to just stay in the realm of physical pain and structure. We might start there, but we're going to go way out into the outer realms of spirit and all of these beautiful things we've just been mentioning. And so you might think you're coming in to get your jaw fixed, but you're also going to get some soul healing at the same time.
Yeah, it's the contribution of, the bigger you into this problem that will be rectified, but it's not about that. It was this that brought you into that experience.
Yeah, that was just the flag waver to go, hey, there's something you need to know, and your soul's trying to get that message across, and it's giving you a real big pain in the jaw.
Yeah. So, and it's obviously not 100% of the time, but it's, can be reproducible at a certain percentage. And so it becomes harder to get to these places and continue on a particular path if you're going from one to the other because you're looking for this thing that you really can't name, but you just feel incomplete or you feel that void. And I'm looking for that right practitioner who will fill it for me. It won't come from anyone.
Yes.
It's not going to come from anyone.
It's going to come inside. And this reminds me, I was just explaining here a little bit earlier that sometimes I get little patterns that show up in clinic. You probably do as well. Yeah. But one of them this week is around food and being satiated. Like, am I able to eat well versus spiral out of control and suddenly need to eat sugar even though I really don't want to? And but I can't really stay on this path. And so, a lot of that I think is similar in some ways. It's like what I've been asking my clients to do is really to pay attention to who wants that thing when they're in that space of, but I want that cake or I want that Tim Tam. And yes, I know I'm meant to be having my nice paleo meal and meant to be satisfied with all the good fats and the, nutritious, nutrient-dense, vegetables and whatever else I'm eating, but somehow I still want that thing. And so often it's just never really about that thing that you're craving, the ice cream or the Tim Tam or the whatever. It's about something inside that just hasn't been addressed. And so that's the same with, seeking this healer or that healer or this one. Will this person give me the info that's going to solve my Tim Tam craving?
When it just doesn't need to be solved, because there's absolutely nothing wrong with the Tim Tam craving.
Yeah, but usually the Tim Tam is just another red flag, right? For something else that, we're not even sure what it is we're trying to consume or what it is we're trying to stuff down. And so as a result, we're looking outside of ourselves.
Which is why, like going shopping, suddenly you end up with like 5 new dresses and going like, what did I need these for? Why did I buy them? But during the process, because I was just like, I need this for whatever reason, that compulsion that we get into to just have that Tim Tam, but we're not really thinking about it. It's just, this will make me feel better, and that instant gratification. And then after you get home and you see all these clothes and you're like, why did I buy these? And you have that buyer's remorse, that emptiness again. Because you no longer have that high, your problem hasn't really changed. Your feeling inside, you inside hasn't changed.
And so this is a really important thing. Like there are many different types of healers, but healers are not actually ever fixing or saving you. They're never the ones doing the fixing or saving. And so, if you're feeling like you're not getting what you need from your practitioner, number one, okay, maybe they are, or maybe they aren't the right practitioner, and you need to investigate that with that person. Or, really there's something else going on and you're not looking at that. And so instead of looking more deeply, you're going, oh, that practitioner looks prettier or shinier or, something else.
Yeah. And that's fine, because not every relationship is gonna stay together forever.
We don't own our clients.
Yeah.
Nobody owns clients.
Nobody owns clients. And I think it also depends if what you're looking like. If I'm sick and I'm like, I need a doctor, I'm going to a doctor. I'm not going to go to a healer. I'm not going to go to a physio. I'm not going to go to my dentist. I know what I need my doctor for. I can feel that in my body. But I will also do the healing work because I know that we're multidimensional and there's more going on in my physical. So I need to look after my physical as well as everything else. So I already know 2 practitioners who are going to look after this need that I'm also taking responsibility for myself. But then when we seeing, say, 4 healers at once, and they're not necessarily trained from the same school, they're just kind of, I don't know where they trained, some are kind of awakened, some have had training, blah de blah. You're going to have like a variety of knowledge base and vibrations and capacities, and again that conflicting kind of information. And I guess what I've learned as a healer that is to heal, I'm not doing it, I'm the instrument for it. So I need to be in a place of peace and unconditional love. That's kind of the ingredients required for this healing, to be in this space to enable this effective healing. But is everyone able to do that? What work are they doing on themselves to help them be in that place? And everyone's going to get exactly what they need from that person. But if you're seeing 4, you don't know who's helping you with what. You don't know which result you're getting from whom, because all of it contributes to outcomes, because you're not just working on your physical, you're working on all of you. So then you don't know which is the most effective, because you're dabbling in so many and, kind of sampling different things and working in a variety of things. How do you know which is the effective thing? Like when I'm sick, I go to a doctor, I get antibiotics. The antibiotics kill whatever. I feel fine within 2 days. I know what thing helped me. if I don't see my healer, then it takes me maybe 5 days. So
yeah. And look, you know, as you were talking, I was thinking about when I was going through a lot of intense healing for an autoimmune condition that I had. And I did actually take that approach at first. I was like, I had this spaghetti theory, like throw everything at the wall and see what sticks.
It's an academic term.
Yeah, right. And so I had a naturopath, a kinesiologist, a TCM practitioner, and I was doing yoga and meditation and taking supplements and basically being pretty regimented in trying to like see what was going to help me. And for what I was going through, what became apparent was, besides the yoga and meditation, which, let's face it, pretty fundamental and useful, but really the most useful things were sorting out the diet on a naturopathic level, absolutely fundamental for any autoimmune condition. Yeah. And then on top of that, the emotional component. So seeing my kinesiologist, who's an energy worker and who's helping to, you know, work at that emotional energetic level. And those were the two most obvious things. But if I'd been seeing 3 kinesiologists and, you know, 3 different naturopaths, then and also not telling the other practitioners. Like, I was so clear with my practitioners. Yeah, I'm seeing this person, and this person. And sometimes they would swap info. My GP would swap info with my naturopath and so on. And that was so I felt like I had my own ass covered, excuse the language. But yeah, sweary pan. But yeah, so having that clarity of going, well, yeah, I don't want to see too many people doing similar things, but I do want to see what is helping me and what's not helping me.
Yeah. And so that is part of that data collection and research and seeing which practitioners. And because if we're dealing with complex kind of things, we do need a multi-pronged approach. So yes, physical, naturopath or digestive, you know, Ayurveda, healer, kinesio, what body worker, whatever. And it's great if they can all talk to each other. That would be ideal, right? That they all know what's up and they're all there. You have your like team supporting you, and that you as the, you know, empowered client or patient can have these conversations with all your practitioners to let them know what you're doing to look after yourself. And you're educating all of them about the impact of what you're doing. So it's just, you know, it's just a beautiful, positive feeding thing. But then when you're seeing like 4 of a similar kind of practitioner, because you're still going, who's going to be the best one for me? And I don't know. I'm just kind of desperately trying to do this thing. You're sharing your story 4 different times. And then depending on what training they had, you know, there's no standardization. So it's like what you end up doing with one might be undone or something else happening with the other. It's kind of like when you're about to embark on a body of work, and you need like a lawyer to help you out. You retain your lawyer, you share your history, the evidence, you know, they start to accumulate what they need to help you out, support you the best way they can. Then suddenly you go, oh, I'm just going to grab another lawyer. How's that going to, without telling that first lawyer, how's that going to work? Or hiring a builder to build your home, and then you recruit another builder along the way. And then like, they're not speaking the same language, and the plant like,
yeah, and the second one comes in with different plans than the first one, and it's like, what? What house are we building?
Yeah. So it comes back to that original thing. How did it happen that we've kind of started seeing some practitioners as commodities, or like, we'll just do this, we'll just do that, when you can get so much more out of your work with them because you're forming like a sacred partnership to undertake a body of work together. And to complete a body of work together, essentially. And you want to see that through without kind of bringing something else in that can throw a wrench in it, or kind of, change things in a non-beneficial way.
Absolutely. We were talking about this a bit in your group, though, like, you know, referring is really good. And ideally you're working with practitioners who know the scope of their job. And if it's something outside of that, then they will ideally refer you or say, hey, you need body work, or you need a naturopath or whatever. And ideally they've got people that they trust that they can refer to, but otherwise that advice should be passed on as well, instead of that practitioner trying to pretend like they can do everything for you.
We're not one-stop shops.
Oh God, no. No.
Yeah, referral pathways, always good. Always, that's why it's good to connect with other types of practitioners that you develop a trusting relationship with, especially if they've worked with you or you work with them. Then you could refer your clients on. Like there's often I refer, not whenever it's needed, I refer my clients to more senior therapists in my school, so I know what training was involved, and they're my therapists, and they have speciality in a particular area that I think would be very beneficial for that client. But then I find out, well, what work was done, or they might continue to work with them. Yeah. And you do a handover process, and that's great. Yeah. But working with like 4 at once who have had diverse training, I think it can be very confusing.
Well, and it's the way, another thing to consider here is that it's about honoring yourself as a client as well as honoring the capacity of your practitioner. I think it's a two-way street, and, to really be able to work that relationship, you've got to honor your own needs. And so sometimes I think part of the reason that people switch between practitioners, it's just a guess. I'll be so interested to hear what people have to say, but I think that it, it can be this. I'm a little bit afraid, like what we were talking about in our last video. I'm a little bit afraid of digging a bit deeper to see what's under there. I can feel that there's something that may need to come up, but sometimes rather than investigate that, it can be like, oh, let's just dance over here a little bit to the left or to the right, or
yeah. Yes. And like, it's fun. Not everyone wants to go deep, and they're like, that's it. That's all I want to do. And that's cool. But it's a conversation. You don't kind of terminate one lawyer without having a conversation with them. This is why, I just feel like it's not working. Hopefully there would have been some lead up. Before you bring in someone else or a builder or whatever. End a relationship. I don't think we're very good with ending relationships. I think we avoid it, and we just go and sneak around. Cheat on our practitioners.
Give them a silent treatment, or not let them know I'm seeing someone else. Yeah. But hairdressers, right?
Yes, hairdressers.
How loyal are we all to our hairdressers?
No one else is touching my hair.
It's like traumatizing to not have that hairdresser available. And yet, it's like, oh, just go to see this person and that person. And
looking into my soul.
Yeah,
not judging me and what's in it.
Let's just have 5 different people looking in my soul right now.
Yeah. It is. We're funny like that, aren't we? That we just value our hair and nail, and I guess the things that we could show in the world. We want to always look our best, and we always want those. We're really, really sticklers about who we allow to work on us. It's different if you're in the medical system and having a baby, and then you have lots of people up there. It's a different story altogether, and I don't know how that happened either, because it's not okay. It's not okay. But so we want one person for our hair. We can have 20 people looking in our vaginas at one time. That's okay. And maybe up to 5 looking into the soul, seeing everything, the whole truth about us, the good, the bad, and everything in between. So it's like, how did this happen?
And look, I've just got this vision of people looking in a woman's vagina. But
that's all right. It happens.
It does happen. Oh my God.
It's a good place to investigate. Very lucky.
Yeah, that's a different end of investigation. I think though, this is this whole thing around not knowing ourselves and putting so much responsibility for what's best for me into somebody else's hands. Yeah. And a little bit, I think, in the healing game, a bit of a wing and a prayer. Is this person going to be able to really help me? And so this is why it's always good. I love it when people get in touch with me and say, hey, can we chat on the phone for 15, 20 minutes before I book a session? Absolutely. Let's work out if we're a good fit.
Yes.
Because I do trust that the people who come to see me, there's something I can help them with, even if it's that I say, great, we've worked together 2 or 3 sessions, and actually I think you really should see this person as the next part of your journey. But at the same time, I love it when people contact me and say, let's talk. This is my thing. What do you think? How would you go about helping me in this situation? Yeah. That is like what you talk about, like data collection and research. And we really want people to feel into that. Does this person talking back to me about my stuff, does it feel right?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, then don't give them your money.
Yeah.
Don't give me your money if you don't think I can help you, because it's not good for you and it's not good for me. Work with the people that resonate with you.
But I think when it comes back down to healing, I mean, that applies to any profession, really. Coaches, healers, anyone who's in the helping profession.
Yes.
But I think when we come to healing, because we're not providing this physical thing to someone, it's universal energy that is the healer. And so we are the conduits for that. So how do we be great conduits for our clients, and how does the client draw forth as much as they can through us, or through this partnership, or this alliance, this relationship, this healing relationship that we have together? And it is trust. This is my life's work, right? So this is about developing that rapport, that's trust. And we need trust in order to allow, to be receptive for that energy to come in to help us. So if I'm a client and I'm working with my therapist, it's like, because I'm on a devotional path, I see them as, being that divine conduit. And I want to bring forth to me to help with whatever I need. And I can't if I'm closed off, and I can't if I don't trust them, or I can't if I'm just like, this is just a temporary thing, like if my attitude is just of openness and receptivity. And that practitioner as well, we can all tell when person's not completely open. And if the practitioner has any kind of judgmental thoughts about what I'm experiencing, like, I share a problem about this person and they're like, oh, that's crazy, you shouldn't be doing that. They give their opinion, or they have a judgment about it. Well, then that interferes with their capacity to hold peace and unconditional love. Because unconditional love means that you're not judging anything, and doesn't matter what I think about it. I'm here for the client. So there's this beautiful kind of interaction that's happening between the practitioner and client that grows and grows over time and deepens over time. So this practitioner becomes well aware of your processes and the patterns that you go through, and can help remind you of that. But if you're going through so many different people, that never happens. Nobody gets a chance to help you in that way, to really know you and to assist you through this evolutionary process, or through this issue that you want to kind of get to the bottom of.
Absolutely. And, look, some of my clients I've been seeing long term, they start off coming more frequently to begin with, but then really I want them to space the sessions out, because I want them to stand on their own 2 feet. I don't want to be that practitioner that says, you must come and see me twice a week for 3 years, every week, without fail. Like some modalities that may work for, but for me, that's not what I'm about. I want to give you the tools so that you can stand on your own 2 feet, you can have that awareness, so that next time you need something, it's already there in your toolkit.
Yeah.
But then the amazing thing for me is there's some people have done some phenomenal work with. Beautiful, love them, love these beautiful clients. And then, for example, even a few weeks ago, after working for almost 2 years with one client, she finally revealed information to me that she just kind of never mentioned before. Really important information. And, and told me, actually, every time I've seen you up until this point, there's always been either this or that thing happening. And because we had such a beautiful connection, I was able to hold that to her and not go, well, how dare you not tell me that thing until now? It was like, that is awesome that you finally feel okay to share that.
Yeah.
And that's just going to allow us to work in a whole different way.
And I'm sure the things you got to do together went just so much deeper and just more there's more potency.
Yeah, and it made my heart just kind of like my shirt.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh yeah, that is such a beautiful feeling to know that person feels safe enough to tell me those things and knows that I'm not going to sit there and go, you're a terrible person for that thing,
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And I guess personally as a healer practitioner type, that I genuinely care about the well-being of my clients. So I check in between because I give tools that I think they should practice because I've practiced them and I see the benefit and I see what happens when I don't practice them. And then I'm like, oh, I should have just did that, because it makes a huge difference. It takes what happens in that session and maintains it or retains that consciousness for a little longer. But then it's this tool. We're both about the tools. Try this technique and use it. It now becomes part of your toolbox. And, these are the most important things that I learned from my teacher, Shakti Durga, and the school that I'm in. And it's just like, then you become empowered to just grab the tool you need when you're going through something. And if you're going through something new, then you're going to go to someone experienced to help you through it. And then you get more, so you're always adding to this toolbox, which gives you this amazing box of ammunition that you can kind of help other people out with. And you share what you know, or you share what you have with someone else who needs it. And again, it becomes harder when, there isn't that consistency or continuity. And, not all relationships stay together. We know that. And sometimes it's a one-off and that's all that person needs with you. And that's the way it is. That's great. But, when there's some other things going on and it's like, I'm going to go to that person, I'm going to go to that person, I'm going to get that person, but yet I'll never be satisfied.
And what's coming to mind in this conversation is this concept of vulnerability, right? So, when we first go to see a new practitioner, we've got a certain degree of comfort. And that maybe allows us, depending on the person, some people are like, I'll tell you all the things straight up, no problem.
That's me.
That's me too. Yeah, I've actually keep a list and it's in my Evernote and it's like all my stuff. Here you go, here's my stuff.
Oh, that's more organized than I am. No, just verbal vomit.
But for some people, especially if there's been a lot of woundedness or hurt or trauma, then it's just not possible to share that stuff. And also there's the other part of that is the not even knowing that it's not possible. So sometimes we don't know just how impossible it is to feel vulnerable and feel open and to create space for that healing, because we're carrying wound upon wound and we've got this like cap over the top that's like, I'm just going to keep this in place and everything will be okay. No. And so, but sometimes that's actually the layers that we work through, right, as practitioners. And so if as a client you've got that going on, or you don't even know that you've got that going on, but something is off, you can't access it, you can't see it, you can't feel it, then that's usually because there's a lot of overprotective layers in place that stop you from really seeing things. And then you go, I'll just see this practitioner for 3 sessions and see what happens, and then I'll see that one. Then
it's fine, because our armor is our protection, and and don't want to let go of it that easily because it's been our safety. So like totally get it. It's it just
depends where you're at and what sort of work you want to do. And if you need your armor, if you need your protection, that's understandable. But the truth is that if you ever have any intention of going deeper, then sometimes we have to stand where we are in our discomfort. Instead of feeling that urge to run and running away, working with that 1 or 2 or however many practitioners, that team, to let yourself be supported to go a little bit deeper.
So I think it comes, I guess we need to wrap up, but I think it comes down, I guess the message that comes out is like, if you're going to go see any practitioner, it's always having knowledge up front of what is my goal of working with anyone. What do I want out of this? If I want to deal with this, you know, food intolerance thing, and I don't want to just manage it anymore. I want it gone. I know I can get through this, and I need to just find the right support team. Then that's a clear goal, right? But if it's like, I want to, you know, experience the divine and myself as divine, that's a different goal. And so, you know, and that is like a freaking big one. It's gonna, I mean, they're all big, but it's going to be an uncomfortable and, you know, amazing ride. But, you know, you're going to have to stick it out to get there. And then again.
Yeah. And I'll add, like, a lot of this, you know, we're talking about the divine here. And I'd say with both of our work, there's an aspect of that, you know, whatever people come in with, often there's sort of like flags being waved that are like, there's something else that the soul wants you to know here.
Yeah.
And so, you know, another part of my healing work was dealing with post-traumatic stress. It's like a really long time ago now, but, you know, what brought me to finally get help was being completely and utterly sick of having my life ruled and ruined by flashbacks. PTSD involves like a cyclic flashback pattern. And, you know, that can pop up anytime, anywhere for no reason. And I just got to the point one day I was chucking a tantrum. I was so sick of being in that space. And so it was then that I was able to go, okay, all right, I'm serious about this now. I'm ready to deal with this. And it might be really awful, but I want to do it.
Yeah. So it takes a lot of strength, and it takes, I guess, some sort of grace to finally get to that readiness place. And then, you know, by then you're able to call in the practitioners who will help you, because now you know what you want, right? Yes. Or you'll call in the support, whether practitioners or if it was an AA, you know, some sort of group thing. So that's when you know you're going to call in what's right for you. Whereas if it's like, I just want to feel better, I just want to have more confidence, they're all great things, but it's like, there's more. So get to the more, and then you will find they will appear.
They definitely appear, and it certainly was a pathway that led to that opening into that divine, into, you know, my own work as a healer and beyond. So yeah, that, like, anywhere from any point in your healing journey, we can get to that place of divine if that's what you want. But it's up to you. It's always up to you. Not you, Amanda, but like you, the person.
Not me,
or you.
The person watching this. You.
No.
All righty, that was meaty. Thank you, and juicy. It was vegetarian meaty for me.
Very, very meaty. Not vegetarian meaty.
Well, it's your preference. Thank you, as always.
Lots of love to you, to the people watching, beautiful, lovely people. Please give us your feedback as well. If there's anything we can share with you, we're collating a bit of a list and growing our topic list and working through them bit by bit. So lots of love to you all, lots of peace, and we hope that this provides some inspiration and maybe a bit more freedom or possibility for you in your life.
Fabulous. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.